later on, Lakers have just one of two games this week. Light week on the schedule for the Lakers. They're in Sacramento. LeBron's offensive binge continues here over his last 7, nearly 34 a game on 56% shooting, 45% from three. And you see the other numbers for LeBron. And it's not like, Brendan, the Lakers don't need these numbers right now.
Yeah, LeBron is getting those numbers because they are absolutely needed. He's not out there stat padding or doing anything like that. He's going out there getting every bucket. I remember watching them play Houston maybe a couple weeks ago, and I'm thinking to myself, LeBron's having a killer game. He is playing fantastic, but man, they needed every last ounce of that triple-double to win that game against the Houston Rockets, and therein kind of lies the problem for the Lakers, is that LeBron is playing at such a high level and the team isn't better in the standings, and they need him to play at a high level. That wasn't the plan. When LeBron came to L.A., this was supposed to be like, I'm going to lead this off. Then when Anthony Davis came along, it's supposed to be a baton toss. And now that they've added Russ, he was supposed to take a little bit more off of LeBron's plate. That hasn't happened. LeBron has had to have an incredibly high usage and do what he's always done. Yeah. And that strapped teams on his back and drag them to the playoffs. And that's what he's doing with these Lakers.
And then you have to, put his age in there also. Ooh. I mean, so two things that I noticed just by watching, right? Whenever he goes and he grabs that stat sheet, right, and he's looking at it.
He's looking at Russ's turnovers?
Well, no, he's looking at those numbers that he had, right? Mm-hmm. And he's saying to himself, man, when I used to do this, we was up by 15.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing this and we down 10. And the other thing that I noticed the other night, he looked, this is where the old man come out. Like when they was losing to Memphis and Bain started like barking at him a little bit, he looked like one of them old, like your pops used to be, boy, come here. Yeah. But they can't reach you. They're not fast enough to get you. So they like, one day.
Wait till I catch up.
Yes, that's what I was looking at. It's like Father Time is definitely here, but at the same time, he's putting up numbers, but he can't get separation with his team. Now, eventually his team's going to get healthy, and we'll see what he's able to do, and does he still have enough energy in the tank once his team gets healthy and they can play at another level.
By the way, the Lakers are one game over 500 despite playing 9 fewer road games than home games so far on the schedule. They're a 500 team and a really, really home favorable schedule here so far. Again, waiting on Anthony Davis, but that's not great. Elsewhere,
don't blame me.
He's got a whole entree of food down here.
I only got a protein drink, Zeke.
He's got a lot of stuff going on over there generally. There's a lot of equipment that comes with.
Oh yeah, I got my fan, my towels, my glasses case. I got a lot of stuff down here a lot of people don't know about. Thanks for outing me, Zeke.
No, but you be doing good work. That's why you need to stay full.
Okay. Appreciate you.
That's Brendan Haywood. That's the Hall of Famer, Isiah Thomas. I'm Matt Weiner. Good to have you with us. Lots to get to tonight. Among the games we'll be keeping an eye on tonight, the Brooklyn Nets and Chicago Bulls go at it. Top two teams in the Eastern Conference. Also means the third game of the season for Kyrie Irving. It's on the road, so he is playing. 22 points in each of his first 2 so far. What have you made of what you've seen from Kyrie?
Well, his offensive game is impressive. And Brendan, to just miss this much time and then come back and be averaging 22 and shooting 47 from the field, he appears to have no rust from his offensive game. But I think the most important thing is how these three are going to find a way to play together, complement each other without sacrificing too much of their game, because offensively they need each other and defensively they do also.
Yeah, offensively Kyrie looks great. He's just one of those guys that just seems like no matter what, he always can get it. He can pick it up just like that. And we know he puts the work in, and that was evident by the fact that he was able to step out on the court and look like he never left. So Kyrie's looked great. The tough finishes are still there. He can still get to his jumper. The handle is still as tight as it's ever been. And so, like you said, now it just comes down to continuity and making sure they're all on the same page and everybody understands how they get along on offense, because it's going to be different with him not playing, at home. And they're going to have to get used to, okay, tonight I have to do a little bit more because Kyrie's not there. Tonight can tone it down a little bit because he's here, and they have to find that type of happy medium because that's what they're going to have to do in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Nets have lost 5 of 7, including Monday night in Portland. Chauncey Billups, after the game or before the game, that night said that Kyrie Irving is the most skilled player to ever play the point guard position. As one of the contenders on that list, I'm curious your thoughts on it because I certainly thought of you, thought of Steph Curry, thought of Steve Nash.
Yeah.
It's a lot of skill at that position over the years.
CP3's in that list?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you honored to be in the conversation, right? And I mean, because Kyrie, I've said this before. He's freaky with that basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, he does stuff that, he dances with it, plays music with it. I mean, it's different. So to be included in the conversation, I don't know who's the best. I'm just glad they mentioned my name, and thanks for throwing my name in there.
Hey, man, stop that, Z.
No, but
listen, when they mention best point guards, they always have to mention your name. Just know that. No matter what the criteria, whether we talking about winning, ball handling, they got to mention you. And so you're saying you're happy to be in there. I'm sure Kyrie feels the same way. He's happy to be mentioned with you. And listen, I think that it really comes down to what you like from the point guard position. Is he the most skilled of all time? Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But his name is right in there because he has one of the best handles. He's one of the best finishers at the rim for a small player. Then he's one of those guys that can score at all 3 levels, shoot from 3, the mid-range, and he can post up smaller guards. So from a skill standpoint, he has it all the same way that you had it all.
Brendan, I remember the first time I met Kyrie. He came down to Miami, and I was coaching at FIU at Florida International. And, he came down to say hello and everything. So I asked him to step out on the court and play with the guys. And it was like I couldn't understand what I was seeing, man. I mean, because it was like college kids, they was running up and down, and he was. I mean, it was the way we're watching him play. It's a different kind of like I say, it's just freaky. Like the way he moves and dances with it. It's unlike anything I've ever seen a point guard handle the ball and move that way with it. It's just different.
Zeke, I had to say, I had a similar experience because when Kyrie came in the league, it was the year when they was of the lockout.
Right.
So he came, and the UNC pickup games are legendary. So all of a sudden, Kyrie walks in, and we had seen him play at Duke a couple games, but he only played a couple games that season. And he stepped out there, and he was easily the best point guard on the court. And we had we used to have Raymond Felton out there, Shammond Williams was out there. We had a lot of big-time guys that went to the school that were out there. And I remember after the game, because he was frying all of our guys, and we don't want to be nice about the Duke guy. He came in there and showed everybody up. I called my boys he reminds me of Steve Nash, but he's faster and quicker.
Yeah.
And they were like, nah. I was like, I'm telling you, he reminds me of Steve Nash, but he's faster and quicker. And so when you talk about best or most skilled players of all time, Kyrie's name definitely is in the hat, and it just depends on who you want to pick out. You can go Kyrie, Nash, you, CP3, Steph. There's no wrong answer.
Yeah.
As long as y'all are included in that 5, you in good company.
Yeah, there's no definitive right answer no matter how long you want to talk about
But the beautiful thing about Kyrie, what he just said, is that all these guys you just named, all of us really had a different, unique kind of style, which is
it really pained me to see him walk into Carolina and do us like that. I didn't like that.
yeah. Y'all had
But you came away impressed.
I did. I was very impressed.
Carolina Duke. Oof.
Yeah.
By the way, this is another one of those measuring stick games for the Brooklyn Nets, who are 0-8 against the top 4 seeds in the East and the West so far this season. They'll take on the Chicago Bulls at 10 Eastern time. That's a 9 o'clock Central time start for national TV in Chicago. Also tonight, later on, Lakers have just one of 2 games this week. Light week on the schedule for the Lakers. They're in Sacramento. LeBron's offensive binge continues here over his last 7, nearly 34 a game on 56% shooting, 45% from 3. And you see the other numbers for LeBron. And it's not like, Brendan, the Lakers don't need these numbers right now.
Yeah, LeBron is getting those numbers because they are absolutely needed. He's not out there stat padding or doing anything like that. He's going out there getting every bucket. I remember watching them play Houston maybe a couple weeks ago, and I'm thinking to myself, LeBron's having a killer game. He is playing fantastic, but man, they needed every last ounce of that triple-double to win that game against the Houston Rockets, and therein kind of lies the problem for the Lakers, is that LeBron is playing at such a high level, and the team isn't better in the standings and they need him to play at a high level. That wasn't the plan. When LeBron came to LA, this was supposed to be like, I'm going to lead this off. Then when Anthony Davis came along, it's supposed to be a baton toss. And now that they've added Russ, he was supposed to take a little bit more off of LeBron's plate.